Hey everyone, this is Louey7 and I am streaming the Lord of the Rings Online. I'm going to be back on Loueyden the Warden and starting the Wells of Langflood zone. So I am actually in Southbury right now at a skirmish camp, but I will get back to the Wells of Langflood. I have my return skill, my milestone skill is there, but I actually need to go to the Vales of Anduin first, and I did want to say hello to Gabe Parker, who was here before the stream started. I don't know. Oh, I heard music and it was these minstrels. There seems to always be somebody playing on those fences. Right here in Southbury, but that's what that was. But I need to go to, the Vales of Anduin. That is where my intro quests, like leading up to the Wells of Langflood are. And Gabe Parker, you said you had a question. You need a question answered about the Warden, and you want them from the best. Well, I'm glad you consider me the best. I don't know if I play the Warden the best, but I can try my best to answer those questions whenever you have them. Okay, so for my actual quests, I think they're around Beorninghus, so I'll have to travel there now. Hey Ardeth the Lore Seeker, and you asked how I'm doing, and I am doing good. Today, pretty excited to be playing LOTRO and getting back to Loueyden the Warden, doing the Wells of Langflood, starting with that. It's kind of something the last stream I was doing, the Legacy of Durin and the Trials of the Dwarves. And I actually finished that book quest, the whole little series that will be continued in Update 28, but I finished what we had. So it's pretty exciting seeing the zone a little bit from that, but I never actually got to the regular quest of the zone. That's what I'm going to be starting with today, so pretty excited for that. And Gabe Parker, you asked what spec is the best for Warden DPS because your friend is in tank gear and blue spec and still crits for 110k. So the best spec for DPS would be either the red or yellow line. I think in raw DPS the red line is better. But there's actually some uses for the yellow line and the damage isn't too bad. But overall the red line I think has better damage output. The yellow line just has some support, and I know like as far as endgame meta specifically for like the most challenging content, high tier raids, that type of stuff, people run with like one yellow line and I think one red line warden, or one yellow line warden and the other wardens would be red line. Oh, this is a level 130 quest for chopping wood. Oh, I don't even have that quest, it just gave me that quest that I needed to do. And I'm guessing catching chickens, I have to catch this chicken that I cannot see, which means I might have to go all the way around. I don't know if there's a way to exit this area right here. I can go ahead and chop more wood though. So I guess I could talk a little bit about my plans for today. And of course I'm going to be starting the Wells of Langflood, and somehow starting the Wells of Langflood is actually in the Vales of Anduin. But I'll probably get a little bit settled with the questing there. I at least want to get to the Wells of Langflood and do at least like one quest set there, but probably like the usual 2 to 3 hour stream is pretty much what I'm planning today. I know I actually started this later than my previous Saturday streams. I did them earlier in the afternoon, but this one it was just better for me to do it a bit later today. Hey Cam, you said it's awesome to see people still playing LOTRO. Yes, a lot of people still play LOTRO. And you said you played from Shadows of Ingmar up to the Rohan expansion when they stopped releasing as many raids. Yeah, I actually used to play with a lot of people that stopped around then, and some of them have come back, especially like some of the people I play, basically my kinship on Honor, a lot of them played around that time as well. So I completed that quest and I just need to go around and catch some chickens and pick some berries, it looks like. This zone, let's see, I'm having a little bit of lag and sometimes Sometime Chrome decides to take up a lot of my CPU when I'm streaming and have that playback going. So I was just checking that out, but I think it's fine. This zone in general, a lot of the newer zones in this region, I generally have lower FPS. I'm below 60 basically, but it's just because there's so much going on. Alright, so we are getting... Oh, this is actually a chicken. I expected there to be a berry here. So you asked, does the Nimrodel server still exist? And I don't think that one does. I think it's one of the ones that... So way back when they had the server merges, only like 5 servers from EU and 5 servers from NA still exist, and I think Nimrodel was one of the ones that got merged. I guess it doesn't exist anymore. You can still like transfer your characters off from it, but at least as far as I remember, that is not a server right now. And Gabe Parker, you asked what is the most viable rotation. So as far as actual rotation, it's pretty much with the Warden, just use the strongest Gambits first. There's not too much, except for the L line. I'm talking specifically about the red line, because the L line's actually pretty complicated. But with the red line, it's pretty much use the strongest Gambit first. So you have Range Resounding Challenge is a strong one, then a Bleed Gambit, then like Desolation and Surety of Death, and like Mighty Blow. So yeah, Cam, your characters would still exist. You just have to transfer them off, and it's free to transfer them off to a server that actually exists now and still works. But yeah, your characters still do exist, which is definitely a good thing. That was one of the worries when they did the server merge. Like, a lot of people were worried if they didn't transfer off after whatever period, if they'd still be able to do that. But they said it would be forever free for you to be able to transfer off of one of those servers onto one that exists. And otherwise, you have to pay to transfer servers from, like, between the ones that still exist, the remaining servers. But yeah, Gabe Parker, I hope that helps. It's a little bit hard to go into specific detail here. I'm actually in the yellow line. I'm spec'd into that now. I was running some skirmish raids this morning, pretty briefly. Let's see, I'm just trying to circle around here, I guess, and get everything around. I'm not sure if I even picked up anything along the way, but I'm trying to keep up with the quest a little bit. I think I can run through these mobs and they won't aggro. They're low enough level, which is weird. Getting stuck on this little hill. There we go. Yeah, Arkenstone is one of the most populated servers. That's actually the one I am on this character. And most of my old characters are on Arkenstone as well. I know I talk a lot about the legendary servers, about Anor specifically, just because I play there as well. I mainly only played that one with my kinship, but I played on Arkenstone before that, and still, I guess, mainly do play on Arkenstone when I'm not doing stuff with my kin on Anor. Let's see, I think I missed some berries up to the right here, or to the left, but I think I can ignore those for now. I just gotta make sure I get 2 of the lost chickens and can hopefully get 5 berries along the way. There should be one right here. So Gabe Parker, you said you play on Arkenstone as well, and it's not the best world chat there. Yeah, it's pretty busy, but if you have a relatively busier or more populated server, you're just bound to get, I guess as you put it, not the best world chat. In general though, even on this server, I don't think there's too much that's really bad about the world chat or too much negativity. I know a lot of people turn it off even. So Cam, there is So I think my kin is running something, but I'm not sure what. They just randomly invited me. I actually didn't know who that was. So it sounds like they're doing the 9 Nazguls, which might be something I do because I need to stay a little bit up to date with the endgame stuff at level 130, and that's actually not something I've done on this character. Today is Saturday. I don't think I've ever actually seen this kin run something, and usually when they do, it's like getting towards my bedtime whenever they run something. So that was just unexpected, but I will probably join them once I find out basically exactly. Oops. Drag that chat box not where it should be. Okay, so Cam, you asked is there a current raid tier that is relevant, and there is. Ever since there was a update, there was a few updates before Mordor, but especially starting with Mordor, which was a couple years ago, they started. I still haven't found out what my kin's doing. I think they're going to Mordor Besieged to run the Nazguls. I think I might have already said that, but ever since Mordor, they have been releasing tiers with like every update or every other update or so, and currently we have a Minas Morgul raid. There's only one raid, it's just like the Rumor Chan is what it's called. I guess I should do raid. Wild berries, okay. Just trying to remind myself what's going on here. So Gabe Parker, you asked if I'm scared. Your breathing tosses you into that direction, and I am not scared. I'm not sure why my breathing is doing that, but I am not. I just don't know what I would really be scared about right now. So they're going to do the 9 Nazguls if I have not done them yet this week. Rumor Chant is Shelob's raid. Yeah, that has Shelob, and it's... I haven't actually done Rumor Chant yet, but at least it sounds like an interesting raid, even if it is like a big spider raid, is basically what I think it is. Alright. Speaking of being scared, I know this is October, but I recently ran... no, that wasn't rude. I'm just like kind of curious how that is that you thought I sounded scared. But actually ran Barnirnath, the Houses of Lamentation, and that is a little bit spooky. I don't know so much scary, but it's just like a spooky environment, and I know this is October, like the spooky month. But I need some chickens. The work is never done. Is that what I'm on? No, I'm on catching chickens. Okay, so there are 2 chickens a lot closer to the actual camp that I need. Oh, it takes forever to type that out. The typing's probably loud for you all. I've tried a lot of different things without an actual like shock mount or anything to prevent all the vibrations, I guess, picking up on the mic whenever I type. But yeah, everything I've tried without something like that hasn't quite worked. I actually have the mic on a pillowcase, just like a pillowcase without a pillow. And that helps a little bit. Okay, sounds like I don't need to pick anything up, so I can continue getting ready for the Wells of Langflood, and then we'll do the 9 Nazguls real quick, and then probably get back to the Wells of Langflood. It's one thing with the streams when I plan something like this, especially at the level cap, just because I'm in a kin now, and they kind of do stuff like this, and it's good for my character to do. I want to do it. It's just kind of throws the stream for a little bit of a whirl, but it's actually one of the exciting things I think about the streams, is that you just get a lot more variety than me. Just like if I was doing this as a let's play like Loueyden used to be, I would just be going through the quests 20 minutes, 20 to 40 minutes I think each episode was, and I'd just basically be doing that still, which is fun in its own way, but to me at least this gets some more variety and just different things. I think it's exciting. But Gabe Parker, you said you can get into the Rimmer chant without the rim gear. It's stupid. I might have to disagree a little bit, to be honest. I don't really mind if a raid's easy. Oh, it looks like... So I'm going to go ahead and turn in this quest, the front gate of Beorning Husk. So we'll work on that after we do the 9 Nazguls. It looks like I'm being summoned, and we are probably ready to go. I did do a couple of these Nazguls. But I did not do all 9 of them, I know, and when I did it, I was just doing it solo, randomly running around and killing the ones I saw. What was I doing? Oh yeah, I was trying to remember what I was doing. I was doing the exploration deed. I was getting the chest and I think wrapping up. There were a couple other things I don't remember exactly. So Pedigree, you said it is excited and you're glad you all get to see this raid. Yeah, I don't know, it's just a little bit, I guess, new to me, because basically everything I've done in YouTube streaming or even doing Let's Play type stuff, we don't really have interruptions like this, and it's not a bad thing. I almost feel like I'm saying it like it's a bad thing, but I think it's exciting. I thought I would stay yellow line. I really doubt it matters, because if this is soloable, then it probably get killed very quickly in a group. But just because I'm more familiar with the red line, I'll go ahead and switch to that. And one thing I kind of forgot is I actually changed my cosmetic set. I have these 3 on this character. This one's just the one I got from the Araya of the Valor, which actually fit Minas Morgul, I thought, but I'm not sure which one of these 2 would fit better for Wells of Langflood. A little bit I feel like this one, if I get my weapons back, but the other one could as well. I'm not too sure. That one might actually fit here a little bit better. I'm trying to think which one. I like the variation of the cloak. That's one thing. This cloak, it's actually the Gray Company cloak. I think I just got it to be a matching color and have a cloak, but it's just a plain solid color pretty much. I guess we got quite a few more people. We got a full raid at least. Again, just so everybody knows, I have not done these Nazguls before. I've killed a couple of them on my own, and that was just while I was doing some exploration deeds, so this will be interesting to see. I assume it's just pretty simple, farm it and do it once a week. I think there's I don't remember if there's a weekly quest for it. They auto bestow. Continued threats, complete quest of Minas Morgul continued threats. I think they count towards this, but I'm not entirely sure. I don't know if these are continued threats. It's Minas Morgul continued threats, and that's what I have. I have a quest to complete 8 of those, which completing all 9 Nazguls, of course, will. It gives 3,000 Virtue XP. That's actually one of the really nice things I'm looking forward to. It also gives a lot of Embers of Enchantment, Sigils of Imladithil, and all that good stuff. It seems like a pretty rewarding weekly quest, at least from my little experience at the level 130 endgame so far. There is a minstrel with a very loud instrument. I can't quite think what that is. It is a lute? Didn't quite expect it to be a lute. It sounded a little bit whistlier. I don't even know if that makes sense. I don't know how well you all can hear it, but while we're waiting, it's like the one noise I keep hearing. Oh, we actually have more than 12 people. I wonder if you can run these with like a full 24 and we just keep trying to get more, or what exactly is going on. I don't see any messages being searched in like LFF or World. Because I thought we were about like ready to go, but I guess not. One thing I can do is, oh, looks like we're going. Finally thought of something I could do while we were waiting there. So I switched to red line because I didn't think I would be able to do enough in yellow line, but that thing went down extremely quickly, so I might actually switch to yellow line. It might be easier for me to do at least a little bit, provide a little bit in that quick killing as a yellow line spec. I guess there is a certain path that people follow going through pretty much the whole zone is what I would guess. I'm not even sure when I went through leveling through the zone, I'm not sure if I found all these. I actually don't remember one being down there. I remember running into the first one, I think around Amon Few, and I was like, well, that's really weird. But I am going to switch to the yellow line, so I can maybe do a little bit more. I don't think it really matters with how quickly it went down, but I enjoy this more, I think, in the yellow spec. It kind of reminds me of warbands. That's one of the things that surprised me when I was going through East Rohan on the legendary server, is that I actually enjoyed like the warbands, and I think for the landscape they were actually pretty fun, even if they're kind of the same thing over and over, and they weren't like super rewarding. There wasn't like a weekly quest like we have here for the continued threats, but they were pretty fun to complete a little bit, I think, and especially fun because you could do a lot of them solo while just like leveling through whatever area. That was a pretty nice thing, but these remind me a little bit like that, but they're level 130 here, so definitely not a thing to solo while leveling. I keep running past these Ithil Skarn deposits. I guess I could go ahead and collect one every once in a while. I don't think collecting that would take too much time. It's one thing with this character, his crafting, I got it up to the Minas Ithil tier. I have like my Forester and Prospector basically where they need to be with that. Looking at the crafting panel, I'm losing track of where I'm going. I'll put it over here, so maybe down here. But with the tailor, I'm just not sure. Maybe I should just wait for update 28 and see if that has new recipes and just work on those. But I guess I'll find out if Wells of Langflood has any. So we have the Cursed Rider. Here, I think he's actually one of the ones I killed solo because I'm pretty sure this was the area I remembered one, so it's where I ended up going. Oops. Accidentally just opened the help panel somehow. Love getting knocked off my war steed. I think that something like ticked for 6.8k damage I thought I saw, and that just like instantly takes me off my war steed. One thing I can look at while we're riding to the next one is actually my trait panel for the amount of combat. So it looks like I have a bunch of stuff in the yellow. I really don't know what that was with this character. I think I just wanted to get its agility up so I could like turn faster. Hey Freddy B. But yeah, it looks like I think we've killed 3 of them, if I remember correctly. This one is the Bane of Rune. I'm having a little bit of lag. There we go. Wanted to make sure I was able to accept that before he was killed. All I got to do on him was put 2 debuffs on him and then use one of my javelin skills. I did technically cast Range Resounding Challenge, but by the time I got up, he was already dead. Do we just get 2 sigils of Imlad Ithil? 4 sigils of Imlad Ithil, it looks like, actually, for each of these. I wasn't actually paying attention. We already looked at the reward for the weekly quest, but I wasn't paying attention to the individual continued threats, these Nazguls, what they give. This reminds me of something, and I'm kind of forgetting what. I already mentioned the war bands. I think that thing is what knocked me off my war steed. Its aura affected enough damage to knock me off. That's a crazy thing with this character. But I'm trying to think, for some reason, just all these people running, it reminded me of something. And maybe it was some war bands like the ones in Wildernmore. It kind of reminds me of that. So I talked about the war bands and like how you could do them solo while leveling through East Rohan, but the ones in Wildernmore were basically like this. You just run around in a circle and complete them. But again, with this one, you have the weekly quest. It's a nice thing, I think. And especially because it is weekly, I think the actual Nazguls here, you get the quest to kill them, the continued threat quest. Like the Gloom of Nirn, you could get that daily, I think. I'm not 100% sure on that, but as far as doing this once a week, I definitely don't think it's a bad thing to do that you can just do very quickly. I think it's the Fell Spirit here, the High Sorcerer of Harad. Well, looks like I got knocked off my mount, but right in the right area. And I'm glad to know I'm seeing other people get knocked off their war steed, as I've talked about a whole bunch. That happens to me, but I'm actually glad to see it happens to other people. Not because I'm glad to see them get knocked off, but glad to know that it's not only me that it happens to. And it looks like somebody got their weekly quest done. I still need to kill one more continued threat, and I'm guessing, I'm actually celebrated in the Great Alliance. So I don't know, that's one of the reputation things. I actually don't know where Celebrated is. That looks like it's the last tier. I'm used to Kindred being the last reputation tier. I know they added more. I think it was in Mordor, if I remember correctly. That's when they added more. But maybe it was some other time, maybe a bit earlier. I guess all of these are Elite Masters. All of them are small fellowship quests. Of course, we have 13 people, so they're like extremely easy. But I thought maybe some of them would be different difficulty, and I just wasn't expecting all of them to be small fellowship, basically. So I did not mean to use not Ranger Resounding Challenge, was whatever that was. Resolution. I don't think that was called Resolution. I should know the name of that gambit. It's the 3-1-2 morale tap, but it doesn't really matter. It's just bothering me that I forgot the name of it. There's Resolution and Exaltation of Battle. Those are the last two. I can't think of it right now. So Andrew McKinnon, you said if you have a medium steed, you can take the sacrifice trait and you won't get dismounted. That is actually really good to know. I used to know a little bit more about the war steeds, but I basically have forgot it all. And even on Anor, the legendary servers, which recently went through East Rohan and West Rohan, I didn't even bother on those characters to pay that much attention. I pretty much went medium on my Warden and light on my Runekeeper because that's just what I remember doing. But I didn't actually know there was a trait, the sacrifice trait, it looks like, in the medium war steed that I will probably take because that sounds like a very helpful thing. But yeah, thank you for that tip. I will probably look into doing that if I remember right after we finish with this. So I think the person that had the aura that was killing me is dead, so I can hopefully quickly catch up here. That one almost knocked me off. It got the war steed health about halfway down. I think that ball of darkness might get me off, yeah. And I am caught way behind here. Hopefully I can get there in time, but I'm just way behind with getting knocked off twice. They might have already defeated him, but I'm not entirely sure. Well, it looks like they have not. They defeated a lot of other enemies, it looks like, so that's good for me. I got the loot from the other enemies, and at the same time, that gave me a chance to get up here real quick before they pulled him. This one, okay, this is the Witch King, so he's actually not a small fellowship. He is a full nemesis, which I'm guessing they probably have as raid difficulty, or it could be fellowship difficulty. I wasn't really prepared to do too much, so I'm not really thinking about what I'm doing. I'll just stay far away. I say as I run up, but I'll stay a little bit far away just to keep my morale up so I don't have to worry about dying. So this one gave 2 Sigils of Imlad Ithil and 2 relics. Probably have a lot of the relics of Minas Ithil now. That'll give me a lot of reputation. It looks like I got my weekly quest done at some point, or at least should have. I don't see it tracked anymore, so I assume it like auto-completed. Oh man, here I am getting knocked off again. Okay, should be good to get back on the war steed. Oh, here's the Gloom of Nirn. I was wondering why we stopped here because I wasn't getting an auto bestow for a new Nazgul. But this is actually the one I already had, I think. As you all have probably seen when I've opened my quest log, it's been there because it's one I picked up and I didn't even know where he was when I picked this up. It looks like my virtue, I got virtues in something other than loyalty, which means my loyalty is capped, so that's nice. Actually, I have a capped virtue at the level cap. So I completed the 9, so I think that's a deed to do all of the Nazguls. Oops, wrong chat. So I believe we're done, so I can head back to the, not quite to the Wells of Langflood yet, but still head back. I wonder what the best way to go there is. Maybe, actually don't think that way. Probably to Oscaruth, to Bree, to Holtvis, to Beorninghus. I think that's going to be my fastest way to get there. Ooh, it looks like I got some cosmetics, Hooded Cloak of the Nine and just Cloak of the Nine. I wonder if that, yeah, that can't be dyed. I was like, I wonder if that can be dyed because it seems like something that should be basically pitch black. I don't know if I have an outfit that would really work with. It looks like it's a little bit tattered, the cloak as well. Getting hard to see because it's basically pitch black, but my gear looks really weird. I haven't really paid attention to the character panel, but actually looking at all this, this is of course the new gear I've gotten from the book quest, the Trial of Durin and the Legacy of Durin and Trial of the Dwarves. I don't remember the name of that, but I think that's what most of my gear here is from. Oh, I guess I can actually leave the raid. Sounds like we'll run Rakothas as well. So Rako, just so everybody knows, that's the first boss of the Throne of the Dread Terror raid, which is a level 105 raid, and we run it at level 130. Okay, had to clear my throat, but we run this at level 130, and we run the raid itself is level 105 tier 2, if I can try to think about what I'm trying to say. But you run the first boss and, oh, I have to warn him, okay. That was just very unexpected. Oh, I have to actually click him. Now I need to go back to Grimbeorn. But we run this raid for the, I think it actually gives like Ithil coins, long lost Ithil coins, something like that. I'm not entirely sure, I keep forgetting. Oh, I need to talk to somebody before I depart, so it sounds like we'll actually be ready to go to the Wells of Langflood. How far into the stream are we? We're about 40 minutes into the stream, and I still have not gotten actually to the Wells of Langflood, to the... It has so many different names. History etched in stone, so that's Karak. So I have to go to Karak for both of these quests. To the Floodfells is actually over there, it's to the west. I guess there's an eagle that takes me there, maybe? I'm not entirely sure. But the Ithil coins that we get from this raid, you can barter them for like Scrolls of Empowerment or Starlit Crystals. It would be the main thing that I would barter for them for, and I think that's what it's most worthy bartering them for, is the Starlit Crystals. Looks like I need to reforge my allies. I've probably needed to reforge those for a long time, but we can go ahead and do that. It looks like I have a couple essence boxes and actually have some Ithil runes. I could get another DPS one for my javelin. I'll probably, oops, I'm heading north actually to the Wells of Langflood. I need to be heading west to where my quests take me. I wonder if the History Etched in Stone, if that will be a whole little like quest set that I still have to do before actually going to the Wells of Langflood. I'm not sure. So the Wells of Langflood, one thing I actually put in the description is it has so many different names. I've seen it called Floodfells, Mist Hollow. Right here, Floodfells, that's what it says, to the Floodfells in the quest, but I don't know if Floodfells would generally refer to the southern region, maybe south of that river. I don't remember exactly in the Mist Hollow, maybe to the north, but I just remember there being a sharp contrast kind of between the two areas. One of them was full of mist, it was very foggy, so that was like the Mist Hollows. And then the Floodfells was a little bit more of an environment like you see here in the Vales of Anduin. Here is a candle I need to light. Yeah, so Limlock is the To the Floodfells quest, and I still need to climb atop the Kurok here. Actually, Limlock, that's where I have my milestone return to skill, but I should go ahead and finish this quest and go about it the more proper way so I'm not left with this quest. This would actually be a good time, since we were talking about the War Steed and actually switching it to medium and making sure I get that trait. This would be a good time to go ahead and do that, I think. So I'll go to trait spec 2. And this one's already medium. But I need to get the sacrifice trait, and I'm not sure where sacrifice is. I'm guessing it's in the blue, but I'm not entirely sure. It could be yellow or red. Patience, sacrifice. So this is one, Steed takes no damage while active. As a 20-second cooldown, it's just a toggle skill that costs power and, yeah, pretty much just power. Oh, so I absorb all damage. I actually remember this trait. I forgot about it, but now that I see it, I actually remember it. I'm going to check just one thing, if there's anything similar in the Light Steed, and I really doubt there is. Okay, so I need to wait a minute before changing back, and we can look at that. I think we're still waiting for the run here for it to get started up. So Ido, Daphne, you asked, is the game worth coming back to? You feel it's kind of dead these days? So LOTRO, depending where you, like when you last played it, I think it's definitely worth trying, which would also mean it's worth coming back to, or at least trying to come back to, I think. Mainly because it's free. That's just like, you don't have to pay a lot to really try it again. I wonder, try to do this with the fuse points in the blue as possible to start off, but I'll go ahead and apply that. I'll probably get my agility, make sure I get maybe my power up as well. Oops, out of strength. But I think LOTRO is a very enjoyable game, of course. That's why I stream it and make videos of it. But there's Dash. That's the main one I wanted in here. I know I have a whole like ton of points to spend, but I really don't have too much specifically to spend it on, so I'm just like doing random things. Yeah, I'll go ahead and get all these. All these things that like take a single point, they're usually good. And my voice went getting raspy again, but yeah, I'll go ahead and apply that, and I just have to remember when I get on the War Steed, I'll actually go ahead and do that. We can do that quest. I just have to click that one thing. So there should be a skill I got for, if I put this in shift 1, if I do sacrifice in shift 2, that's the one I need to not get knocked off. Okay, looks like I have to go to Limlock, which I can do. But yeah, with LOTRO, it really depends what you want to do in the game, now that I'm actually thinking about your question more. So it's a very good game if you're just looking to go through it solo and experience like some of the stories, some of the side quests. At least for me, I enjoy the side quests more than the main storylines. A lot of people enjoy the main storylines, so both of those. Looks like we are ready for this raid. The single boss in this raid, at least. It's super quick to run. The longest thing is actually distributing the loot from my experience. And for if you're interested in like endgame PvE, there's a lot of that going on. For me, there are some things about it that are enjoyable and some things about it that aren't enjoyable. More with actual content as of late, at least I've enjoyed it more, but some of the indie game balance and just progression they have, I don't like as much. So for me, I'm a little bit mixed towards in-game PvE. That's actually a little bit what I'm doing right now. I have been, at least for the stream, mainly questing, starting the Wells of Langflood, so that's like that solo quest experience, even though I'm getting some stuff for endgame on this character. But as far as like running endgame stuff on this character, that's something I enjoy, but I'm personally somebody that likes to play a bunch of vaults and be able to do variety and play like whatever spec you want, and LOTRO is not a good game for that, unfortunately. But as far as like, if you play a single character and don't play alts, endgame I think is pretty good as far as PvE goes. Now PvP, you probably remember it's PvMP if you have played before, and I see a lot of mixed feelings about it. I think a lot of people that play it say they dislike it, but then they still play it, so that probably means they also like it. I personally don't play it, so I can't speak from like my own experience, just from what I see other people say about it. But yeah, it really depends what you're interested in, I think is kind of the point of all that. I can reforge all my allies. I think I'm going to use all these for the reputation, but I guess while we're waiting I can go ahead and spend the moment to think about that. I just have to take a look actually at the reputation. I also should select a better virtue for earning. So valor and confidence are good. Determination of course is good. So for this character I actually made a video that has not been uploaded yet, so I had to remember if I even uploaded this video. So I made a video going through all the virtues with Warden, and what I talked about in that was like determination versus valor and just a bunch of different combinations you can do. So for a lot of my low level characters, these are not virtues I would choose because they're just not as good at low levels. And in low level content that I do, like a lot of my other stuff, I either do like low level content or I have a single character that I do high level content on. And I enjoy a lot of the low level content, so a lot of my characters end up picking a lot of different virtues. So it's just not a very general like set rule of what you should pick. But just thinking about that with this character, what I want to earn next is probably going to be confidence. And that's pretty much where I am going with that. I should probably switch to the red line where at least I somewhat know what I'm doing. Oh, so much lag. So for this boss, just for anybody unfamiliar, if you are curious, we just stand behind him and pretty much just kill him. Sometimes he'll knock us back and we just have to like run back in. It's pretty much how this fight goes, and we just run this and we get a lot of the Ithil coins again, and those are barter for basically starlight crystals is why I run this. You get quite a few of those just pretty easily doing this. So I'll probably use Desolation next, and then I can go ahead and actually use Spear of Virtue. I think in update 28, the whole Spear of Virtue and the whole Fish Shield line, all the issues with that will be fixed. Well, I kind of went through a rotation, so that's pretty good. Normally I just don't like paying attention enough on this character, or any of my characters go through like a full rotation. I think with the Warden, it's kind of odd. They have a priority, of course, but most things are like priority to use certain skills when they're off cooldown. Most characters, most classes, and the Warden is more of an actual rotation of which gambits you want to use, because it's a priority, but you don't have to deal with cooldowns. It's all in the... Oops, I did not mean to use Resounding Challenge. One other thing I'm practicing is trying to use, not actually click the Gambit Masteries. For the Warden specifically, that's more of an issue for me. A lot of my characters I use keybinds, and even on this character I do like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0. Basically my whole lower bar I do with the keyboard, even like Shift 4 and F4 I'll use a lot. But anyway, I can get back to chat, and Burkan Yunar, you asked, or you said you're new to LOTRO and you're asking any class suggestions for a solo player you want to solo most of the content. So that depends exactly what you want out of your class. A couple good ones is I know a lot of people like Hunter for solo. Now, if you're looking to solo like instances, they might not quite be the best with that. It looks like we have to do the whole loot thing. They forgot to turn master loot on, but so it'll just take an extra minute to distribute loot here. And that means I'll have to turn my auto loot off. But yeah, Hunter is one that a lot of people recommend for solo. I also enjoy it, but for me it's just a class I can't stick with playing a long time, but definitely good for solo. If you like melee classes, Champion's pretty similar with the DPS, and if you're looking to solo, like, there's a lot of group content on LOTRO, and if you're specifically looking to be able to solo that, you also have like Captain, but that's a pretty slow class. Even Guardian can do some of that. They are somewhat slow, not as slow as a Captain, but they're one of the slower ones as well in their melee. Another melee one is Warden. They're definitely good for that. They're just a little bit complicated, might not be the best for a new player. That's the one I'm playing right now if you're curious. And then, what's the other melee class? There is one more. Burglar could be okay if you're into that theme. It definitely could be a good one. Oh, and the Beorning, they're definitely a good solo class. They're one of the better ones. Of course, the Beorning, Warden, and Runekeeper, those are 3 classes you have to pay for, so the Warden and Beorning specifically, I think, are definitely good for soloing content. And the Runekeeper's not bad with it, they're just a little bit squishy, so you might end up dying a lot because they take a lot of damage because they wear light armor and are squishy. Otherwise, some classes can be okay. Some of the range classes, I talked about Hunter, they're not the best for soloing like really hard group content or soloing like on level instances, but they're definitely good for general landscape soloing. What are the other classes? Minstrel and Lore Master? Minstrel's not bad for leveling. You could solo difficult content, but they're kind of like the Runekeeper, they're just like a little bit squishy. Okay, we'll go ahead and pass on all this. And then the other one is Lore Master. They have a lot of like crowd control type stuff, which is good for solo. They aren't really slow soloing. At low levels they can be, like very low levels. Yeah, I hope that helps a little bit. I feel like I'm going like very scatterbrained with all my thoughts about this with the different classes. I think I pretty much touched on all of them now and some of the benefits for like soloing on them, but I just hope that helps a little bit. I think we're getting the loot settled one at a time. We'll loot this and take 2 of the 7 ancient Ithil coins. What do I have here? I have an Imbued Legacy Replacement Scroll. That one actually isn't even bound. Okay, I'm still waiting, I think, for the champion to loot his ancient Ithil coins. I think, as I mentioned at the beginning of this raid, distributing the loot takes the longest, and then I think they forgot to turn master loot off, or put master loot on. Oh yeah, I never used these reputation things. I think we started, or I probably got distracted. I get distracted a lot. Okay, so I need to take ancient Ithil coin and ancient Ithil coin. But again, while we are doing the loot, I can look a little bit at the reputation stuff if I remember. So Birkin, you said you were thinking between Red Minstrel and Captain. So both of those would be good options. They're very different. So the Red Line Minstrel specifically, that's the DPS spec with them. So you can, it really depends if you're looking to solo like group instances, like basically 6-man instances or 3-man instances even. if you are looking to solo that type of stuff, I would say the captain is better. But if you're just like looking to solo landscape content, the minstrel and captain should both be able to do those. They're just both very different. The captain is a little bit slower in melee, but they have a tank spec that can survive really well. They have a healing spec that has some self-survival. And then they have the DPS spec, which is relatively slow for a DPS spec because they're more group-oriented. A lot of their skills and just theme around them is buffing the group. But if you're playing solo, you don't have much of a group to buff, so you won't have as much going for you. The actual, like, captain. And then the minstrel is mainly a healing class. They do have the red line, which is DPS. And you'll have some self-heals. You'll have to actually switch stances. They have like a DPS stance and a healing stance, and then a stance that's in between those. But if you want to heal yourself while damaging, which for soloing like any sort of difficult content would be something you probably want to do. But otherwise, for like general landscape, just like regular questing, you don't really need to worry about it. A lot of the regular landscape stuff is pretty easy to solo. It's just like specific group content. If you're like interested in soloing that. Getting a little bit distracted by the loot, so I think we're still waiting to distribute a little bit more. Anyway, I can look at this reputation because that stuff's really bothering me in the inventory. So reclamation of, I think the reclamation continues 3 is the one I need to go through. So rationalistic, hello, and you said brother at Louis 7 nearly caused a scene. Story song dash brother Louis. I am not familiar with that song, but right, I'm not sure why these people are leaving. Is there and then Bearkin, you said you want to play as a hybrid class. So for the hybrid classes, you have Captain. That is a good hybrid one. They can tank, DPS, or heal. The healing is the weakest of the ones they have. I thought there were usually more Ithel coins, like we got bonus ones. Looks like everybody's leaving the raid, but I really did think there were more Ithel coins that we usually rolled on, but I guess we didn't get any of those. Which means I could take all this stuff if I wanted it. I'll go ahead and take the silver coins. Those are at least useful. The other stuff I don't really care about. If I actually paid attention, I can maybe care about the helmet or like the... But yeah, I think we're done, so I'll go ahead and just leave. Normally, again, I mentioned there's usually some more Ithel coins. I wonder if we didn't do the tier 2 and that's why, or what was going on with that. I really am not sure. I didn't pay enough attention. So rationalistic, you said look up the song later. I will, if I remember, I will do that. But for hybrid classes, I already mentioned there is the captain that has the 3, and they're considered a hybrid class, like a jack of all trades type class. There's also Beorning, which they can heal, tank, and DPS. They're the 2 main hybrid classes like that. You do have other ones like Runekeeper and Minstrel. Both of those can heal or DPS. Minstrel is more oriented towards healing, while the Runekeeper rather can do both pretty well. I might have to change the title of this stream to Wells of Langflood and Minas Morgul Endgame stuff, because it sounds like we might be doing Fallen Kings, but I'm just not sure where that one is. I think as I typed out, I don't know if anybody can see that. I totally forgot that was from the 9 Nazguls, so I actually do have that. I wonder if they are probably on Discord. I could probably join that, it'd be a lot easier. Alright, sounds like they're actually seeing if they have a spot open, but I think for the quest that I'm doing here, I've done a little bit of talking, just getting a little bit set up here. So is there any way to buy all expansions with discount? And this is one of the things I really criticize the most with LOTRO, is that the monetization of the expansions and all that is not that great. So what you're probably thinking is there's not really a way to buy all the expansions with a discount. There is a quad pack that has the first 4 expansions, but even that is still a little bit expensive. But the first 4 expansions will cover level 50 to 95, and after that you will still need Mordor and Minas Morgul. Mordor being the more outdated one, and Minas Morgul being the one that's still relevant right now. And as Rationalistic said, they do go on sale, and it's just that there's not like one bundle that has everything. And what I personally think is they should have a bundle for all but the latest expansion, and then after that you just have the latest expansion. That's how I think it should be, but that's not the way it is, unfortunately. Looks like there's a bunch of gear I have enough northern ghoul marks for, but I don't have enough reputation for those, I think. So I should probably actually go to the task board and think about this. If there is cracked lances, I know I accidentally had all those saved up. What about, oh, cracked lances, yeah, that's the one I have like unintentionally saved up. I accidentally locked one of those, I think is how that happened. Yeah, all of the expansions, especially without the quad back, would be pretty expensive. So I'm not familiar with how EverQuest and EverQuest 2 do it, but I'm guessing it would be something similar to what I said. One thing I also know is World of Warcraft, they have, with the base game, sounds like I'll be in the next run for Fallen Kings, but with the base game with World of Warcraft, they have all but the latest expansion, and the only expansion you need to buy is the latest one. That's also like that, the way they do that. Of course, they don't have like a free-to-play option. You have to pay to play. But after you pay to play once, you could at least farm enough gold and get WoW tokens and pay for your playtime that way. So that was a really weird noise. It sounded like she growled or something. My volume's not really loud enough to hear it, but I gotta try that one more time. Okay, I don't know why it sounded like she growled when I had my volume lower, but okay, they said they are in Discord, so I will join that. That'll take me, just so you all know, a minute to get my audio set up. Hopefully it won't take a minute. Hopefully it'll just take a few seconds, but I just want to make sure everything is set up with that. Hello. Okay, I think, yeah, all my audio is set up working pretty swiftly. Okay. Alright, that sounds good. So we are going, just so everybody knows, we're going to be running Fallen Kings on the next set of runs. They're running through it once, and then they will... and then I'll join that. It's kind of like when I play with my kin on Honor, I always get distracted by the actual, like, kin audio in Discord, and it just takes me a minute to get used to that and talking over it, basically. But before I forget, I need to get this reputation stuff settled, so I'll go ahead and actually have my reputation panel open and just, like, click these. So I need 14,000, so that's plenty enough to use all of these. I'm gonna use all of these. And these last three probably won't even get me there, so still need, I should get more reputation from what we do today. And another thing I want to look at while I'm thinking about it is I have gift givers brands. Oh, they're account bound. That's probably how I have them. What was I looking for? Embers of Enchantment. I have 4,800 of those. I'm not sure the best thing to spend them on. Probably wait till update 28, but I'm not entirely sure. But I'll go ahead and deconstruct my stuff that can go, that breaks into the embers, if I can find my Flame of Enkelemir. There we go. Oh, so Gabe Parker, you said you need Rimmer Chant gear to get into the Rimmer Chant? You said you forgot to refresh the stream, you were set back, so with the Rimmer Chant, that is pretty crazy. If you need gear from the raid to be able to, like, get into the raid, that's a little bit weird. Yeah, the quad pack for $40 is a good deal. Sometimes I think, if I remember correctly, I might be misremembering, is that one sometimes goes on sale for like $10, I think is the cheapest, sometimes $20 if I remember correctly, but that one's a good deal if it does go on sale. As far as the actual quest, while they're running Fallen Kings, and I'll be joining the next run, I'll just go ahead and get started with these quests. It looks like I have a lot of quests to just, like, do in this area, a very large area here for me to do the quests. Some of them to the, oh, this is the whole area. I thought that there's a ring near Sundergrot. Don't know what Sundergrot is, but in that area. I wonder if, so I know we have the Misty Mountain Zone, which connects to the Vales of Anduin. I think this is actually where it connects, so Helagrod is probably right around there, if I had to guess. Somewhere around there. Misty Mountains. Yeah, so Helagrod's probably somewhere around there. Don't know what the point of that was. Oh yeah, so any connections. I don't think this zone, like over here, would actually connect to any other zone. Okay, so I don't actually need the little cave claws. Probably need to kill some goblins. Gundabad spies, that is... I wonder if these spies are the ones that are stealthed in. There's a quest like that in Vales of Anduin that this just reminded me of by the name of it. So Gabe Parker, you hate Sundergrot? We'll see what I think of it once I get there. But I hope I don't hate it. I'm actually looking forward to this zone. I've enjoyed questing basically ever since the Vales of Anduin, and even before that. Update 23 wasn't like bad questing, I just enjoyed Vales of Anduin more than stuff from Update 23. See, I have a red quest here, so Protecting Limlock, what is that quest? So that is cut down dead trees. There's actually heavy Langflood branches, which isn't for the quest. Oop. Oh, I have auto loot. That's why stuff keeps going in my pending loot. I still have auto loot off. There it is. Oh, so things just respawn quickly. That actually does sound like something I will love. You said if you're a DPS, you will love it. So yeah, to me, that sounds like something I will love. So I keep pressing the delete key for the cut down dead trees and gather wood from dead trees, but I guess there is nothing with that right here, even though on the map, protecting Limlock is in the red, which is like right here. Actually, it looks like maybe up on the hill. Flood branches again. Once again, that is not for the quest, that's just my forester gathering. Anyway, I'll head to the other red area. There's also a white quest here. What is the white one? That one's depleted stores. So that is fish from nets and gather nuts, so like two completely different things. I'm guessing the fish from nets is along the river here. Yeah, getting LOTRO definitely does take a while to level. Yeah, and Mordor was level 105 to 115. Then you had quest packs from 115 to 120. And quest packs from 95 to 105. But then after Minas Morgul was 120 to 130. And there are a couple quest packs that are level 130. After Minas Morgul, that's one I'm in now though, Wells of Langflood. There's some sort of crafting node. Okay, Langflood Scarn. It's probably my inventory. My inventory is actually pretty clean. I think I forgot to talk about that, but I cleaned it out before the stream. A little bit, but yeah, I just have to look into the crafting, actually see if I can freely basically sell all the crafting mats I don't need. So like the Langflood Scarn and Minnesithal Scarn that I'm just getting from being a gatherer, from being an explorer, if that stuff is basically safe to sell. And Gabe Parker, you asked, how many wardens do I have? I have 2 on Arkenstone, I think. I have 1 on Landreval and 2 on Anor. I actually don't have that many wardens. For how much I play wardens, having 5 is, at least to me, I don't consider it that many. My wardens definitely have my most playtime. Runekeeper would probably be after that. I actually talk about it a lot when I play my Runekeeper, but on my channel, I know I play like wardens a lot, but what was I? Yeah, the Runekeeper, that's actually like my second favorite class, and I really like the Runekeeper, but I just like play my wardens a lot more. Of course, Loueyden, I go through the new content, and even my old warden, like 115 Mordor. Been after Mordor, but 115 to 120, all that was on a warden. Oops, I have no idea what gambits I'm using. I'm like paying 0 attention to my gameplay. I just realized I used Warcry and that was a bad one. Getting something is weird about the tracking. So now the green one is protecting Limlock. Getting all of these nuts. I'll need a lot more fish. But I'll almost be done with the nuts after this. I have a lot of quests for this mob, so I have the deed, so I have the Goblin and Orc Slayer deed, but I also have Orc Riders and Orcs and Wargs, so it counts for 2 quests. Actually, here's another Spearman. I probably switch to the yellow line, actually. Need to hit him real quick so I can get some of the open tapping benefit. I don't know if I need to kill the bat, but I will. Doesn't look like I have him for a quest. So that is 1 quest done. I still need, so the depleted stores quest, there's a couple of those. I assume that means there is a nut straight ahead. I really doubt it's a fish in a trap, like right here. Yeah, with LOTRO, you're talking about leveling to 65 if it's slow or fast. But it can be both, really, depending how you go through it. Some people even use like XP disablers just to go through every zone, and that way it would be slow. Especially even if you don't do that and you just like farm deeds or whatever while leveling. Looks like I need to kill wargs, so this is a good area. So rationalistic Runekeeper is your favorite too. Yeah, they're pretty fun. I kind of have always liked spellcasters, which is, the Warden is not one of those. It's just for some reason on LOTRO I really like the Warden. And the Runekeeper, that basically makes them my second favorite, and the Lore Master even is actually the first class I tried because it seemed the most kind of mage wizard like. But I did not enjoy the Lore Master too much. I enjoyed the Runekeeper more. But the Lore Master isn't bad, it's just not quite as enjoyable to me. I'll probably still need, or actually I'm done with all the quests involving the Goblin Spearman. I still need to cut down dead trees and gather wood from dead trees. Here's actually a dead tree this time though. Okay, so getting progress with the trees. I just realized I haven't said anything in like a minute. Listening a little bit to the kin chat, it sounds like they might be done with their first run. I don't know if I'm getting in the next one or like the next set. Oh, Cam, you asked what are these quests for, by the way. These are just like landscape quests in the Wells of Langflood. These are regular quests. I'm just starting the zone, so this is like the first quest set in the zone here. in a mainly, it's a level 130 zone, so it's a little bit weird to me. Usually I don't like questing if I'm not like leveling while I'm questing, so like I wouldn't really quest at the level cap. That's just the type of person I at least used to be, but nowadays I'm kind of enjoy questing more for questing and ignore the actual XP part of it. But also in this zone I get like gear and things like that. I also really like these zones and just this area in general that we have kind of east of the Misty Mountains and west of northern Mirkwood. I just really like this area as far as the landscape goes, so it's just nice to go through. So fish from the nets, I need to go northeast for that. And the actual quest I'm doing, if you're wondering more for that, is just Limlock. I think these are mainly Beorning still here actually at Limlock. I think higher up in the zone we start seeing some different things, like the dwarves were adventuring from Irad Mithrin to here, but that was more of the book quest. I don't know. With the landscape there wasn't really anything there at like Thalkvist and Hilfseld. Alright, so now I can get back with all these fishing nets and should be able to get that quest done. So I gotta get 8 fish. There's some Langflood branches, might as well gather those. Yeah, so Rationalistic said to Birkin, if you're new, you should check out Louis' class videos. They're very detailed, and just one point I have on that, I do appreciate the sharing of those videos, but yes, they're very detailed and oriented towards newer players. But yeah, if you're interested in those, I have a lot of those, and I'm still trying to get to all the classes. I think I'm trying to think about those. I have a totally different type of guide coming up for the Warden. I might have that like, I don't know, Monday probably is when I would probably upload it, assuming I get finished with editing. I still have to actually finish editing it, but yeah, otherwise with the trait videos that I do, like the detailed guide specs, I think the fish nets would probably be down here. I doubt they would be at the top of the rocks, but okay, I'm still not actually in the area on the map. So Rationalistic, you always played caster. Going actually back, you were happy when they added the Runekeeper, and you always played a caster and you were disappointed when the game first came out that it lacked one. I think the Lore Master, wasn't that in the game when it first came out? I know it's a little bit of a weird caster, but I think it was in the game when it came out. I didn't personally like the Lore Master when I first started LOTRO, even though I also liked spellcasters. Back in 1997 in Ultima Online is when you played a caster, it sounded like. I didn't really start playing any games until World of Warcraft, or at least any games where a spellcaster would even be a thing. And I played Mage in that. I also played Shaman eventually. It was like my second favorite class in the game. It was a little bit castery, but it was melee. At least I played like the enhancement spec, which was the melee spec for Shamans. Following this other person on the same quest as me, still gathering fish. If I actually paid attention, you can see some of the nets actually don't have fish. I think it says sometimes this net does not have any fish in it. But you can actually look with a lot of quests in LOTRO, they're actually pretty detailed with that. Alright, time 2. Hopefully this time I can actually find the trees. Last time we went through this area, I couldn't find any of the trees to cut down. I actually do see one right there, so we can get that. It could just be possible that I was missing them too, not really looking in the right area. Also didn't know what they looked like, even though I was pressing the delete key, which should target them anyway, but yeah, hopefully I just find them. Yeah, here are all these dead trees, and I think whenever I chop them, I not only cut down the dead tree, but I also gather wood at the same time, so I'm getting progress for both. It's just one more dead tree right there and I'll be done. I still need to defeat wargs, but that's just for deeds. Looks like they count for both beasts and just regular wargs. Oops. Fierce Resolve, that's what that game is called. I remember earlier, I don't even remember exactly when, but earlier I was looking at that game and I was like, accidentally used it, and I forgot the name of it. Right, so now I actually think I'm ready for turn-ins. Oh, I need to repair broken palisades, but that's probably in the camp. If I open my quest log, try to find, so I'm at the Wells of Langflood, the Flood Fells. So I still have to do Spies from Gundabad and Walls of Bramble. So I'll go ahead and track those quests. Alright, so Walls of Bramble, southwest of Limlock. I wonder what the best way to do this. I'm thinking circling kind of clockwise around here. So rationalistic, you said what you like about my videos is that I don't just give like a build, I explain all the traits and offer options. Yeah, that's like the same thing I'm going to be doing with the virtue video that's coming up. And I know some people would probably prefer like a super quick rundown. I might eventually look into doing videos like that, but I definitely like to be like detailed and explain the reason why I choose stuff so people know. And they aren't just like referring to it real quick for like a screenshot of like a build and just pick like all the traits based off that one. In LOTRO especially, you have a lot of different build-in options no matter what class for different things. Like my yellow line build here, I think is different than what people run for Endgame. There's some things I could actually change about my build anyway, but yeah, my yellow line build here on my Warden is actually different than what people use at Endgame, but it's good for what I'm doing with just like landscape leveling. So it sounds like they have one more run of the Fallen Kings and then I'll eventually be able to get into this. And just so everyone knows for an outlook for the stream, I'll probably run the Fallen Kings and finish up with this quest set. And that'll probably be about the time to wrap up, so that should still be like a good chunk of time that we have to go, but that's just kind of what I'm thinking for the outlook for this. Hopefully in a day in the somewhat near future, I can do another like really long stream, or at least have one that's more than 2 to 3 hours. What am I doing here? Gathering brambles. That's right. I've like been clicking stuff, I've been collecting my items, but I didn't actually know what I was doing, but I'm getting some brambles. Probably have 5 of them here and 5 of them in the other area if I had to guess, but that may not be the case. It actually looks like there could be at least 6 here. I think the only instance I have, so we were talking about that a little bit. If I open the instance panel, I can see what instances I have unlocked in Minas Morgul while we're fighting this goblin. Is the rumor chant. I think with that one I just have to discover it, so that would be super quick for me to discover. Actually, a few more brambles here. Oh, there are a lot of enemies here. Are they all badgers? Wonder, I have a deed I know to defeat beasts, but I also have one for orcs, so I could just do those together. But it is hard to pass up an opportunity to pull this many mobs and just AoE them down. Here we go, I got Seize the Moment at basically the end of the combat, and that's when I could spam my AoE gambits, but that is okay. Just made it slightly less of a fun AoE pull than it could have been. So Rationalistic, you're mentioning a bunch of different games like Ultima Online and EverQuest. Those are all games I've heard but have not played. EverQuest is one I've heard of more recently. If I remember, I could be getting it confused with something else, but one of them is relatively new, or maybe probably EverQuest 2 rather than EverQuest, I guess, 1. But you said in that one you had mage and enchanter characters. They were very fun too. So that game, EverQuest, is pretty much 100% group-oriented, and there are not many people in all level ranges. Yeah, that's kind of tough with a lot of old games. That's probably true. That's in LOTRO, I'd say it's a little bit different. LOTRO is a fairly old game, but a lot of people are at the level cap. And people that have played throughout the years, they have characters that keep going through the level caps and doing whatever endgame content and just moving on. But that means for like lower levels, you don't run into many people to do like group content while leveling. And a lot of people in LOTRO that are like below level 130, below whatever level cap, are often just like leveling, which there are quite a few of people that do that, and quite a few people that level very slowly, like purposefully level slowly, not in a bad way. Welcome back, Gabe Parker. Alright, so I have a quest here, but I'm not sure. Oh, it's to defeat Gundabad spies. I was like looking for a quest item because that's just what I've been used to doing. I actually did defeat one. I don't remember what it was. I talked about earlier how it could be like stealth mobs, but it looks like these are just like orcs just sitting there spying on something. So yeah, just run around here a little bit, I think, and kill a bunch of these Gundabad spies, and I'll get that quest done. I guess because I'm playing the yellow line, I can just pull everything. Might as well get some sort of deed and loot while I'm running around. I've heard of mountain goats and mountain lions, but I'm not sure I've ever actually heard of a mountain bat. So, Rationalistic, you said one thing that is needed for LOTRO is a good video that goes over general things like what loot is trash, what gear to look for as you level, what to do if returning to LOTRO. And as Gabe Parker said, there are, I think, quite a few videos of that. I'm not sure how outdated. I don't haven't really seen anything specific. I see random videos like pop up. I don't really watch LOTRO videos because I make videos, but as I see people that make different things or whatever videos pop up, I do see some like random bits and pieces of that. But as you said, like all that in a video that goes over like those general things, that would be, it's kind of a hard thing to do in a way. At least to me, it's something that I'd have to think about. Just because there are so many different general things, like you mentioned, what loot is trash and what gear to look for as you level. So like with the loot, you get a ton of crafting stuff. While leveling, you also get a bunch of the task items, and our task items important. It says it may be turned in for task, but that's often like considered junk loot as well. But with task items, sometimes it's good to save them if you want reputation. It's like with those, it's not always a clear-cut answer. And there are a bunch of like random things you get. So like from the Hobbit daily gifts, you might get something like a plus 20% run speed boost. And is there anything like specific you want to save that for? That's just the type of things I'm randomly thinking of. There are just so many different things like that. Even my inventory, if I just look at it, it's a complete mess of a whole bunch of different things as far as like items. But there are at least general categories. It's something I could think about, like at least for myself, think about doing a video like that. But yeah, that's one thing, especially other games, not even just LOTRO. If I'm playing another game, sometimes it's a little bit overwhelming with all the different loot there is. You don't know what you should save for endgame, what is just like what you can use or sell fairly easily, or if you need the same stuff. There's even stuff like that in LOTRO. I know, it's just after playing for so long, I'm used to it. But even like on this character going through the level 130 stuff, one thing I didn't know is essences. I knew all the old essences, like these low tier ones, the yellow ones, you could just freely sell if you didn't want them. But one of the things with essences, it just kind of seems like they might be useful. Like you could combine them or something. I didn't know if that was something that they added, and it was just a reason I was hesitant to sell them. But anyway, my point is, having something like that would definitely be good, but there are just like so many general things. I actually have somewhat of an idea for a video I could do like that, but it wouldn't cover everything. Because again, there are just so many different general things you could cover, but having like a random tips type video, I think would cover some of that. And kind of beginner's guides. I think if you had a complete beginner's guide, that would probably cover all those different things, but again, there's just so many things to do there. At least for me, I would probably forget about a lot of stuff and forget to cover a lot of stuff if I tried to make a complete beginner's guide to LOTRO. Even though a lot of my guides I do are oriented towards beginners, like all those trait and class guides. But those are things I enjoy talking about, and at least for that aspect, I guess they help with beginners. Actually, I started taking a decent amount of damage there from all I pulled. I think I got a couple spies with that pull. I need, what do I need? Just 2 more spies, and then I'll need 2 more brambles eventually when we get there. That is a gun to bad hunter, but maybe he's close enough to a spy, they'll give me credit anyway. And even thinking about like a lot of the videos being outdated, that is something that can easily happen. A lot of things in LOTRO don't change, and systems don't change, but then some things do, so things become outdated. Like task items, they used to just be junk that you could sell, so there might be some guide on those that just says you can sell those freely, and there's like absolutely no use for them besides selling them. But then they made tasks in the game, and now they're actually used for something. So Gabe Parker, you asked for the Warden. If you were in the yellow spec in range stance, would it swap to my javelin for damage or stay with your spear? It swaps to your javelin. All the damage is ranged and will pull from your javelin. So it says, like, the reason you can know that is it says, keep that up there while I go through this, is it says in the parentheses range damage, it says common and then parentheses range damage and the ability. So that is how you can know that it pulls from the range damage, the javelin. Alright, so this should be the last Gundabad spy I need. Sounds like we're about to run Fallen Kings. I think they just got finished with their third run. And then I'll probably run 3 runs. It sounds like on this character you get 3 of these like special chests, whatever they're called. Favor chest, I think is what they called them. Yeah, so rationalistic, that is a good point, that you have to consider, like, some people play slow, but as you mentioned, maybe some people want the fastest way to hit endgame so they can run group content, and like a lot of the old content and reputation is not important. Oh, getting some lower FPS in this area. I accidentally went too far north. I need to go a little bit south. But yeah, for LOTRO, actually a lot of old content is relevant for one specific thing, and it's actually virtue. So you actually want to complete a lot of your deeds. You don't have to do it while leveling, but it keeps old content relevant to at least go through once and complete your deeds. Like through a lot of zones, if you quest through them, you get that quest deed, and that just helps you get more deeds, more virtue XP. So even though you won't level as fast that way, it's just something for a lot of endgame. Dodge this. I always forget dodge this. I don't think does too much damage. So what am I even doing here? I have, gathering brambles. This area looks a little bit odd. It looks like gravel. I haven't ever actually seen gravel look like this in LOTRO. This is just like a totally new landscape surface cover thing that I have not seen before, but if I zoom in, it just looks like it's supposed to be gravel. Of course, the actual texture is just like what you expect from graphics in this game. If you actually like zoom way in on it, it's just a picture of gravel. It's not like the surface actually changes, it's just a flat level of gravel. That's how the grass is too anyway, it's just like a picture of grass from above. Zooming way out, I don't know, that's just the way MMOs have always been. To me it looks a little bit weird with the gravel. It looks like very high resolution for some reason, but it just looks super weird that it's almost painted gravel without actually the texture of the gravel looking like that in the game. I don't know if you all see that, it's just, I feel like it's something very weird that I'm talking about. Okay, so quest here. Actually I have to talk to somebody here, okay. Oh, and I have another quest too. That was the one where I got the fish and nuts and I just have to place those in a crate, but I have to talk to somebody here at Leo Thread. So Quentin Babin, you have a question. If you buy all the expansion packs on a character on a server, will it be available for all your characters on all servers? And the answer is yes. Anything you buy on your account will, at least something like that, if you buy any expansion pack or any quest pack, like if you did the LOTRO free quest pack when they had that coupon, if you use something like that, but anything, expansions, quest packs, all that will be on your entire account, so through all servers and all characters. Okay, so I got all of my brambles, and it actually looks like we are ready to run the Fallen Kings. So I have to just get out of combat real quick and I can travel. But I think we're going to do this set of Fallen Kings runs I have never run this. This is my first time actually being in the instance. Oh, I got a new legendary item that needs to be filtered and destroyed. While we're doing this setup stuff, let me make sure I'm in the red line so I'm at least in a spec I'm familiar with. There we go. So rationalistic, you asked what my favorite WoW classes are. And for gaming, if you asked if I am a VIP player, I am a VIP player. I usually get the 3-month subscription and then wait until I need it to buy it again, basically. Actually, I don't actually want to sell yet in case I need those task items for reputation. So this is D9. Oops, I used the wrong gambit there. Meant to use the good bleed. I didn't use a bad bleed, but I didn't use the strongest one. I don't know if I'm in something on the ground, but not only can I not see. Also, I forgot what happened to me. I was like disarmed or silenced or something. Well, those two were very easy. I think these are the 9 that we killed in the landscape in Mordor Besieged. So rationalistic with the favorite WoW classes. If I can talk about that a little bit while we're going through this. Mage and Shaman would be my favorite too. After that, it's a little bit up for which is my favorite. In general in the game, I haven't really, as far as like Legion and past, I haven't liked Mage as much. For some reason that class got significantly less fun after Mist of Pandaria, maybe. It was like always my favorite class, but then I think Shaman I liked Shaman more after that point. I just in general, since Battle for Azeroth, I basically haven't played WoW. I played a tiny bit at the launch, but just not really enjoying that. Oops. I was too slow to get out of the puzzle there. Those puddles did a lot of damage. I gotta pay a little bit more of attention to go ahead and interrupt him. Okay, there's a puddle. Everything was going so easy, I just stopped paying attention to the actual game. This is an interesting instance though, I must say. Just defeating the 9 Nazguls, but... Oh, I didn't mean to use my interrupt there. What do I need? Desolation would be good. Wow, that did a lot of damage. The Witch King, this boss is going down super quick. I know we're running like the level 124 version. I guess we get out of that puddle. But he's going down like super quick. I don't even know who our tank is. I guess the Guardian. I know a lot of people don't really or there's a lot of controversy. I don't even know controversy around Guardian tanking. It's just not that good compared to Captain. So Quentin Babin, you asked what will be my next video guide, and the next one is also going to be on Warden. It's another somewhat experimental one. Oh, do I gotta roll on something? 62. Oh, somebody got a 63 and 2 of us got 62. Ooh, this is... I actually don't know. This has 3 item levels higher than my other one, but I'm not sure if it's an upgrade. I basically replaced some physical mastery with resistance. Or I could disenchant into crafting materials, which sounds, at least for me, more useful. Alright, so I think we leave. I honestly don't know what we rolled for. But I think we run this twice more. And about the next guide, I said it would need to be another experimental one on Warden. So it's actually, oh, this is a horse? It looks like a horse on the map. Like the picture of the gravel. Can't really see it on the map, but on the mini-map it looks kind of like that. I don't know if you all see something like that, but like front legs, all that. And for gaming, you asked any Redline lore master tips or lore master tips in general. One thing is to remember to use your strong spells. So that's something on my lore master. Like, I won't use even something as simple as Sticky Gourd or Ring of Fire. That's of course something good to use, very easy to use, and it has a cooldown. But for me, at least, I sometimes like to save that type of spell because it has a cooldown. But it's actually a pretty short cooldown. So that's like the big thing I have to recommend. Another thing, if you're doing like long-term fight, is to alternate a lot of your... Oops, I did not mean to use that twice. Alternate your stuff with Burning Embers. It's good to utilize the cooldown with Burning Embers and use another spell while Burning Embers is on cooldown, then use Burning Embers again in the longer duration fights. At least that was the case of what I played on my lore master, mainly on the one on Anor. Oh, for gaming, the English is fine. I was able to read it. Just had a little bit of repeating, but that is okay. I don't know if there's a reason I can't go up here, but I'm going to go up here. What haven't I used? I need to get Desolation on this one. I'm going to be ready for a puddle this time, I think. Oh, that was something else. I thought it might have been a puddle. Seems like the main thing with this instance is avoiding the puddles. So it sounds like this one actually has puddles. So that's... This time I was able to avoid it, fortunately. Trying to interrupt him. Actually, I got my interrupt off, but I don't think it actually interrupted him. That was a bit unfortunate. Make sure I'm not standing in any puddles. I put my bleed on battle memory mainly for... I was hoping to be able to use it on the first one, but the first one died, so the second one ended up getting a battle memory on him. I was going to try to build... Oops. Did not mean to use Warcry, that much I know. And I'm totally messing up my buttons. Oh, we have... This is the annoying thing because I just can't see, and I think I'm disarmed when that happens. Somehow ended up with Desolation and Battle Memory, and I'm honestly not too sure how that happened. I must have used like Goat or something. Not really paying attention, at least to what I'm using too much. So Quentin Babin, you asked if Man, it's kind of hard to keep up with chat, unfortunately, as I'm going through this. I really have to pay attention to the game. Even though I like it, I like the interaction with that. But first off, Gabe Parker, you said you hate when hunters say the game is hard. All they have to do is press 1, 2, 3. There's a little bit of more nuance, I think, with the hunter rotation, but in general, they are a simpler class, and that's one of the draws for them. And then Quentin Babin, you asked, are deeds important? Deeds are going to be important, especially ones that reward virtue XP, so Slayer deeds and Explorer deeds and Quest deeds are all good ones to try and make sure maybe you complete while leveling. Or at least especially the Quest one's good to do while leveling and do like all the quests in a zone or whatever. Or at least you don't even have to always do all the quests in the zone, but... Okay. I think, yeah, this one can drop puddles, so we'll avoid that as much as I can. Another puddle. I don't think... Oh, I did get actually my javelin debuffs. Well, I'm taking a lot of damage. I don't think I was standing in a puddle, just maybe taking damage. That one went a lot smoother because I actually was ready for the puddle right away once he dropped it instead of being a little bit slow to pay attention to that. And yeah, I think Rationalistic covered how to do the plugins. And, oh yeah, also with deeds, they do give LOTRO points, so that's another good thing other than virtues. I think I got an upgrade. I think we're leaving. And Navik, you said looks fun, and I agree, at least so far. This instance is pretty fun. We've run it 2 of the 3 times. Both of them have been like level 124 and 125. I'm not sure exactly why they did that. I know they're like favored chests, so I think at specific level ranges you can get different chests from it, is what's going on with that. But it looks like I got an upgrade piece of gear. Looks like we're running level 123 now. I think it says it's fellowship tradable, but I really doubt anybody in the... Oops. Somebody else leaked something. It looks like that's what they got from this. So this one I'm looking a little bit more. Of course, it doesn't have the defensive stats. It has more agility. I just lose a little bit of vitality, but of course gaining the physical mastery and critical rating is good. For this character, the critical rating is actually finally getting up there. I think 27.5% is the main thing I want. From that, and then physical mastery, could use more of that. Maybe a little bit more finesse as far as my offensive stats go. I also have a bunch of like essence slots, so I probably actually have some essences now. I have vitality, physical mastery, so I can get physical mastery maybe on my pocket item. I'll apply that. Oops, oh man. Somebody has something else. So I just realized with the WoW classes, I only talked about 2 classes, Mage and Shaman. So basically right now from my latest experience in WoW, the Shaman is my favorite class, which I almost consider unfortunate. I think I'm targeting the wrong one. I was on the wrong Nazgul there. They were killing the other one first. But with the, yeah, it's kind of unfortunate just because Mage, I really used to like them, but I just haven't liked them as much. So we might get some puddles, it sounds like, with this boss. The Gloom of Nirn is the one that drops the puddles. We'll have these two. Oh, there's another puddle. I wasn't ready for another puddle there. They were like saying move, and I was like, oh. Oh, puddles. Wow. Oh, now I have the eye. I think with the eye you have to run away. I think we're killing this one, but I'm in range stance because it's hard to get there in melee and stay away from people that have the eye. We're actually having the most interesting mechanics in this boss fight. Or in this instance with this particular one, and we're running with the like lowest level version. Trying to interrupt him. Usually it says interrupted if you actually interrupt an enemy. I don't know if it's just not showing that here. So use a bleed. Okay, use Desolation here. I just wanted to give a minute. I think our tank was feared. But with the other classes in WoW, while I'm thinking about that, I wanted to finish talking about that and then got all distracted and stuff. With that one, I just like the Druid. That would be another class I like. That might be my 3rd favorite one, but there are just like a lot of different things about the other classes. Oh my. I'm just going to go ranged here, I think. Or I'm going to follow this melee guy. I think there's another puddle here. We just like moved here and there's another puddle, but that was kind of crazy with that fight. But yeah, with just the other classes in WoW, I want to finish talking about that real quick. And Druid might be one of my other ones I like. I really like the balanced Druid, the Moonkin. Oh, gotta roll. So do I actually get anything extra from looting that? Ah. So I did find out we don't actually roll for anything specific. It's just who opens the chest. It's more exciting that way. So other gear, I got a more offensive static cloak, but a lot worse. It's much lower item level. I got one of these Reclamation of Minas Morgul things. Actually, I probably have a few of those that I need to use. So actually, I have some of the teal ones. So we can look at the reputation real quick. Now I'm at the Trial of Madness. So I finished the 3rd tier of the Reclamation, it looks like. but I'll go ahead and use the rest of these. I need to get this reputation to the end. I think that's the main thing with all those. But I think for the rest of the stream, I am going to catch up with chat first of all, and then I will go towards Limlock and get turning in these quests. But I think we are done with the group content and pretty much going to be wrapping up with the questing here. So Gabe Parker, you asked, can someone answer me? Is Louis7 looking at his gear? I was looking, this is my gear. Specifically here, I don't know exactly when you messaged that, but I was looking, this is reputation. I was just looking at the reclamation Minas Ithil. And I was looking at my gear, some of the new pieces I got, comparing it to what I have. I'm trying to find the way back. I probably just need to go down. But to catch up a little bit with chat, you all were talking about plugins. Yeah, with the plugins I mainly use, actually don't really use many plugins. I do have combat analysis, but I kind of infrequently use that. And Quentin Babin, you asked, how do you unlock the instances? Only by quest or LOTRO store? So the Minas Morgul instances, they are unlocked by discovery, I think, mainly. So if you go through the quest line, they will, I think they all eventually take you to all the instances. And then Rim Chant you have to go and discover on your own. Well, this is a bad way to go about this, but it makes it more exciting. Thanks, everyone. Oh. Yeah, it was fun to finally be able to play with everyone and chat through Discord. Okay, so it looks like Gabe Parker, you got your question maybe answered. I had a lot of stuff I was looking at, so I kind of forgot. Kind of forgot exactly what I was looking at maybe when you asked that, and I think we are done with the group stuff. And I am swimming very slowly. I think I have to go all the way around, because Limlock is, well, we can't even see, we just see the water here, but it's all the way here, actually. It's all the way up there somewhere, so I'm just trying to navigate my way back. If anybody is wondering why, if they're confused why I'm swimming through this river, that is what is going on. I just wanted to take the interesting path, I guess, instead of like crossing that river and going around here. Thought it could be a shortcut, and it was not. And for gaming, I do have Discord. I was just using Discord, but I don't have a like community Discord that I use for my community. It's something I've considered setting up, and I definitely could set up, but what I mainly use Discord for is just like communicating with my kin. So I have my kin on Anor, I mainly use their Discord. I also do have the one on Arkenstone. I look at it a little bit, and then some other ones that like my friends have for other things. But yeah, that's pretty much what I use Discord for. I just don't have my own Discord server. It's definitely something I have thought about before and could think about making one if people are like really interested in that. I know some YouTubers have Discords, like their own Discord community, and some of them, like I would say more popular YouTubers than like I am. Like I might be relatively popular for LOTRO, I think. Maybe, but as far as like having my own Discord server for that, like own Discord community, I'm not sure how many people would use that, but I don't know. Since both of you are asking, if you have any input on that, if you would like for me to set one up like that, I could look into it definitely. I just don't know how much it would be used or used for, but I think it's something that could find use, if that makes any sense. So for gaming, you've been in a few LOTRO Discord communities, and that's actually one thing I forgot to say. I have been in a couple, just for some reason for me, I haven't really stuck with one. There's one like general LOTRO one, and then I think even a couple server specific ones and a couple other random ones I've like briefly joined, and I might even be in some. So it sounds like Gingin. I have seen Gingin. I'm not too familiar. I know he does a lot of videos like of updates, and I think a lot more endgame stuff than I do. A lot of like my guides are oriented towards more newer players. I guess casual type content, at least from my experience. I haven't really watched his videos, just see them pop up. That's what it looks like to me. But you said he has his own Discord and you're in it, and you don't know if any other YouTuber has one. I'm not entirely sure either. I don't know if you're familiar with Relunil. I know she has one. I think she does, at least. That's the only other one I can randomly think of. So rationalistic, you said, see y'all later, time to eat. I'm not sure, but just based on your profile picture, I would have to guess you're going to eat an apple, but that's probably not a real indication. It just made me hungry for apples thinking about eating and seeing your profile picture. And one thing, I actually ate a snack right before the stream, and I probably shouldn't do that. Right before a stream, just when my stomach's full, sometimes it's a little bit harder for me to get used to talking, playing. I don't know, it's a weird thing. Almost like it made me less energetic at the start of the stream instead of more energetic, like I would think a snack does. I'm getting a ton of these crafting nodes here right outside the town. But yeah, I'm pretty much for the rest of the stream going to be finishing these quests up around here and then turning them in and then pretty much wrapping up here. But I'll think about the Discord. And Gabe Parker, you said you could actually help with setting that up, I think, or somebody said that. Oh, 4Gaming said you could help make that. And Gabe Parker, you said it could be used for helping each other when I'm not streaming. And that's definitely something, I mean, that's like a general LOTRO thing that would be good. It's also, like you mentioned, for like when I'm not streaming, it would be a good thing to communicate with people, like at least for me, viewers. And just things like that, because pretty much during streaming, that's the only time I can really talk to people. There are like YouTube comments and can reply to those as much as you can really do easily in quick replies. I try to at least reply to most comments that actually have like an actual question or something useful to reply to, any sort of input or recommendations. Those are the type of comments I like and appreciate them, so I try to reply to them. So depleted stones, that is the last quest I have. We did all the brambles and palisades stuff, I think. Let me just double check. Oh yeah, I need to turn in the pelts. But yeah, the crates for nuts, all I have to do is put those in there in the crate for fish. So they're actually organized. They don't put their fish and nuts in the same crates. I don't remember getting that many nuts and don't remember getting that many fish, but I guess I magically got a lot more than I thought. But yeah, ready for turn-ins. I know Runeric Knotbeard is right here. I actually need to go to Mist Hollow, the settling of Mist Hollow. That's my next adventurous quest. I'm guessing I have a few more here because it'd be really weird if there's one quest set down here in all of Floodfells. But I got one to go to Mist Hollow and it looks like I can finish some more. What was I just saying? There's at least one more quest set here. So for gaming, you said the LOTRO Discord servers that you've been in on are usually for people that are wanting to help others, and you think that I am one of those people. Yes, I do like to help other people with LOTRO, especially like with my videos. And the Discord communities like that are definitely good for people that have random questions. It's also true for like kinships and even world chat a little bit. I think some servers might be more helpful for like random questions than others, but in general I think LOTRO players are pretty helpful like that. But anyway, that definitely sounds like something that people are interested in, so I could try it out. I actually did briefly have one way back when. I think I deleted that server. At least I don't think I kept it because basically nobody used it. There were a couple people that joined, but basically was like totally unused. And as far as my quests go, it looks like I am ready for the next quest set, which is mostly to the southeast, and then Old Sundergrot is going towards Sundergrot in the southwest, and I'm excited to continue with the quest. The first quest set was pretty fun. Of course, we had a bunch of different adventures going on during that. We just got done with the Nazguls, and then we ran the instance. What was the instance we just did? Fallen Kings. We ran that 3 times, got 3 chests and a bunch of loot from that, a bunch of endgame stuff. But yeah, I think so for gaming, you also just need other LOTRO nerds to hang out with. That would definitely be another good use for it. I think this is a good point to wrap up the stream. As much fun as I am having and as little of the quests I've done here, I am definitely excited to continue with the Wells of Langflood. This is just a good point, I think, to wrap up. And just to briefly recap what we did, I pretty much just talked about that, did some in-game stuff and got settled with the quest here, did the first quest set. Oh, I need to do the task, make sure I try and maximize my reputation here. So Night-Touched Furs, that is not one of those. I have a lot of Sinister Wings, can do that one. But as far as future content goes, I'll have to go to the collection box to turn it in, that's right. How about Toughened Skins? Nope. Tufted Ears, I probably don't have enough of those. Wow, actually, I have a lot of these things, but none of them are the ones I need. Make sure I didn't actually accidentally sell. It would be in buyback if I did, so Tufted Ears, Night-Touched Furs. Looks like I did sell. I don't know if this was all on accident. I actually don't think any of those would count, so I'll go ahead and sell all that I have. I'll actually break that down, but I'll break that down after I sell. But for future content, I'll also break that down. I will have, probably Monday, I will have a video. And for gaming, I will probably message you about that. I'll probably get it set up and then I can message you and get you invited and all that. But yeah, as far as future content, tomorrow I plan to stream probably I'm guessing some low-level stuff, the low-level progression group with my kin on Anor, tomorrow evening, around 8 p.m. server time, LOTRO server time, so like Eastern time. That's all I can do here. Oh yeah, I wanted to break this stuff down real quick at the end of this just to see what we get from that. I haven't actually broken anything like this down that has crafting mats as the output. And then Monday I will have a Warden video, and that's all. Ooh, that actually has the Ithilglad crafting component. I did not realize that's what it broke down to. I used the Flame of Encalamir, it just said succeeded, so I don't actually know what I got from that. I just know that I broke it down, I don't know what I got from it. But I got another Ithilglad crafting component. I know those are at least worth a decent chunk, they're pretty good. So your Discord, I think I got a Grimlord with a number instead of the @ symbol. But yeah, that's what's coming up. I don't really have many plans besides a single video on Monday and then the stream tomorrow. I do plan to cover any more Update 28 stuff as it comes out. And that is pretty much it for this stream then. As far as this stream goes, I hope you all enjoyed it. I know I had a ton of fun going through this. There was a lot of chat, which is good, just a lot of things keeping me busy and staying active with us. That is a good thing, so I appreciate everybody with all the chatting and questions and all that. That definitely made this a fun stream. But if you all did enjoy, please consider liking and subscribing for more and all that, or consider becoming a channel member to support the content. And thanks for joining and chatting and watching, everyone.